Yo, what is up, guys? It is Tom back with another cryptocurrency video. I know I haven't uploaded in a while. I've been in Miami. I was at a real estate conference because that's long term. I really want to go into real estate, buy multifamily property, and really invest that way. So the purpose of today's video is going to be a comparison, really what I've been seeing within the stock market that is very important for you guys to pay attention to, and how it will relate to the cryptocurrency market. I know this is a crypto channel. A lot of people just only care about cryptos, but you guys have to pay attention to what's going on in the economy, what's going on in the stock market, because what's been going on recently is absolutely nuts. So here's a couple of things that I have noticed. What I've noticed is every single thing, pretty much in every asset class now, is in a big bubble. Whether it be stocks, especially debt right now, credit is getting way out of hand, and even real estate. So the stock market and bond market in relation to crypto. Guys, over the past couple of weeks and even a couple of months, the United States dollar has been getting absolutely cremated. What that means is, for example, I hold about, $25,000 in, in cash in a safety deposit box, but every single day that is losing value because the dollar is getting absolutely cremated. And it's so important to notice this because everybody will say, the Trump administration will say, stocks are going higher, all-time highs. But why are stocks at all-time highs, right? And what you guys have to understand is that as of right now, a negative dollar is stock market positive. And somebody, I don't know who in their right minds would be buying bonds right now, but some entity is buying up the bond market. And what happens when people buy up the bond market, it sends stocks into stratospheric valuations like they've been doing. But here's the thing, guys. I'll kind of go through the list here before I get too ahead of myself. But so over the past week, yet again, the stock market has hit all-time highs. We're in full-blown rally mode. You could have bought any stock on the pretty much on the exchange, and you would have made money. I will go into a swing trade I made. I'm going to close out that position probably tomorrow, and kind of take some profits and reevaluate my portfolio. However, the U.S. dollar has been getting crushed, and it will continue to get crushed, in my opinion, because it's just the market is so hyperinflated. But I'll get into that again. Also, there was a report that inflation numbers have came in higher than expected, which is not good. I don't want to make this video too funny, but I'm just hear me out, guys, because this is very important. So the bond market keeps getting bought up. Who would ever want to buy bonds in an environment where the stock market is in full rally mode and the US dollar is getting crushed? Like who would want to buy bonds here, guys? So to give you guys put it in perspective, 10-year debt note is around 2%, I think. This is negative returns if you factor in inflation. You don't want to own debt at all. Like in what I'm doing is I want to bet against debt. Think about that. In an environment where markets are going higher each and every day, all-time highs hitting in the stock market, you would think that nobody would be buying bonds here, because if you lock up all your cash into a bond that's at 2%, that won't even beat inflation. So the Federal Reserve, and big banks, which I think are propping up the bond market here, are pretty much accepting that they are going to lose money. And it's all crooked, it's all backdoor deals. And they're the ones that are propping up this stock market, and it's gonna come crashing down. I don't know when, but it's gonna get bad in my personal opinion. So who is buying and propping up the bond market? Obviously, we all know that. I think that it's the Federal Reserve and banks because they're guaranteeing the debt. If you look back in 2008, what happened with the housing crisis, the same steps are repeating themselves here. I will get into what that means in relation to crypto in a second. But here's another thesis, a hypothesis that I came up with. Banks are getting flooded with credit default swaps right now regarding the debt. So last time we had this problem was in 2008 with the housing meltdown. This is probably why the Fed is so determined to prop up the bond market. Banks are flooded with toxic debt right now, guys. And banks are guaranteeing the debt through credit default swaps. And I think the banks are holding these credit default swaps will go under. Like if if they're holding massive amounts of these credit default swaps, they're going to go under. It's just a matter of time because stock market's all-time highs every day. It's in full rally mode, but obviously it's very predictable that it very could well be going higher and higher and higher so long as the Fed keeps propping up this bond market, printing money out of nowhere, out of thin air, in order to prop up the bond market. So here's what's happening in relation to cryptocurrencies and what I'm doing, because you guys really have to understand this. I mean, if you look at the stock market, things are trading the valuations just don't even make sense anymore. It's ridiculous. So what am I doing? I'm going to try to get out of the dollar, guys, because what you have to understand is go look at the dollar in comparison to any other currency. It's getting cremated. So the cash that I hold right now is losing value every single day in terms of purchasing power. I'm going to try to bet against the debt. Tomorrow, I'm going to be taking profits. We'll be profit taking on some swing trades and planning a hedge. I'm going to play this safe. The market has been in full-blown rally mode. I made some swing trades on ticker SBUX. Probably going to cover that. Made about 15%. I know it doesn't sound a lot in terms of crypto, but in stocks, that's pretty good. I'm bullish on building cryptocurrencies. I know the crypto market is getting absolutely hammered right now, but I'm going to go into what I think about that. So I'm still going to leave some money in the stock market, but I am going to take a lot out of the market, guys, because there's just too many telltale signs right now that are leading me to believe that we could be on the verge of a cataclysmic correction here in the stock market. So let's pull this up. My face is going to go away here for a second. If you look back later in the week, this article was published on January 10th, right? So news came out that China could stop treasury buying. Let's see here. Sorry about that, guys. Just checking my phone here. So report Chinese could stop treasury buying, seen as political, but hits raw nerve. So what this means, guys, and if for those of you who aren't really too educated on the markets, it's very important to watch the bond market in relation to stocks. Why? Because the Chinese especially are probably the number one buyer of US debt. And it doesn't look attractive anymore to the Chinese to buy US debt because they know they're not going to pay back and they're not going to make any money off the deal. So it doesn't really make any sense for the Chinese to keep buying up our debt and essentially propping up our economy. The Chinese, we have to thank the Chinese a ton because they're pretty much stimulating our way of life right now. Every time the Chinese and other countries around the world keep acquiring our debt, buying up our debt, it helps stabilize the market. And I think that a lot of countries around the world are going to start realizing that it's not going to be worth it for them. And I mean, this is just speculation on my part, but it's just who would be buying bonds in this market? It's just beyond me, guys. So just if you have money in the stock market, just be careful. I'll leave some of these articles in the description. I would very highly recommend that you guys take some time to kind of learn this stuff and really dive into what it means to the bond market in relation to stocks, especially the junk bond market, because when junk bonds are getting acquired, people are buying junk bonds, that means the market, really wants to take on more risk. And it would be like an hour video if I kind of explained all of this to you guys. So you really need to do your research, understand why the stock market is in such an inflationary, euphoric period when everybody's trying to jump on the bandwagon, everybody's trying to make money. The stocks are just going higher and higher and higher. And that's the time where you need to take some profits, be conservative. I mean, I always preach on this channel, guys, take profits regularly, or else you're going to get crushed and you're going to get left holding the bag. So see if you can hedge your positions with maybe some cryptocurrencies, maybe some commodity plays will be good in the upcoming months. Again, I'm not trying to call a top on this market whatsoever, but I will say that, when bonds start to sell off, I mean, in just my personal opinion, I don't think it's going to be good, and just in my opinion. Now, going back here, guys, a lot of you have been messaging me throughout the couple of weeks. All of you guys were like, Tom, you got to look into TRX. You got to look into TRX. And so I pulled up the chart, and when you guys were messaging me about this, the chart looked like this, right? So there was way too much. Just I'll just give you the answer right now. I will never touch Tron. I will never touch Ripple, and even as of right now, I won't touch Cardano. I mean, these three coins have just been so overhyped. The valuations are absolutely through the roof. I mean, you guys really have to look at market cap when you're thinking of buying these cryptocurrencies because Tron was so disgustingly overvalued, and same with Ripple. I mean, if you think about it, Ripple was at a market cap greater than Ethereum. Like, how could Ripple possibly be worth more than Ethereum when there's so many ERC20 tokens being built on Ethereum? Ethereum's actually being used for something. It has a good use case, and tons of ICOs are building on Ethereum. I mean, it just boggles my mind. So this is how I kind of look at charts, guys. With TRX, I would never touch this. I traded a bunch of penny stocks back in the day. This looks like a classic penny stock pump and dump. Guys, everybody was telling me to buy in here. If you guys think about what this looks like, it looks like we're stacking like 3 or 4 pencils on top of each other. When markets get over exuberant and they get overextended, they don't build solid base or support on the way up, so everything comes crashing down. This is pretty much what Tron looks like, guys. It was like 2 pencils, like stacked on top of each other, going all the way up. And when you don't build a steady base, shit falls down. And just look at some of these RSI levels that you guys were buying at. And I mean, I'm not trying to get upset, but so many of you now are messaging me like, I lost everything in Tron, I lost everything in Ripple. What do I do? Do I sell? And it's like, I understand, guys. Like, it's tough. I mean, just learn from your mistakes, move on, and don't buy at all-time highs. That's really all I could say. I mean, I'm part of a Facebook group where we've been getting flooded with messages way back saying, "Hey, should we buy Tron? Should we jump on the wagon?" And we were all like, "No, don't buy Tron, guys. Don't buy Ripple because it's a classic pump and dump." Look at the RSI levels that you guys were buying this at. This is all you really need to pull up. It's like, why would you be buying at all-time highs? Like, that is just beyond me. Like, I mean, it's just a dead giveaway. I mean, if you really like Tron, you believe in the project, you should have been buying down here, acquiring this down here, not on this exuberant run up when the RSI is at 90. I mean, again, mistakes happen, people make mistakes, but let this be a lesson. Don't buy into pumps, guys. Don't buy into pumps because you're going to get left holding the bag. Same thing with, obviously I was making tons of videos on QuantStamp, right? When I was making these videos on QuantStamp, we were acquiring my community in our chat rooms. We were acquiring this down here, like 9, 10, 16 cents. We weren't buying on this exuberant run up when everybody else was buying. Guys, this is when you want to be selling. You want to be selling into strength. You don't want to be holding the bag. You want to acquire good, solid coins with good teams, fundamental technology on the low, and sell into strength. And I know this seems very hard. It's easier said than done in a way, but this is how you make money in a market. And if you look at the majority of altcoins, they follow a classic market cycle pattern. So right out the gate on the ICO, they get pumped, they sell off, they consolidate forever, and then they blast off to the moon, and then they go back down again. What I want you guys to see is if we go to NEO, right? This is why I trade altcoins actively, and I don't hodl altcoins all the time. So, because I'll tell you why. If you look at, damn it, this trading view thing. So if you look at NEO, right, in terms of BTC value, if you were hodling NEO all the time, there's no way that NEO could possibly reach its BTC value again. Let me see. Right? So it's when you see things like NEO or other cryptocurrencies, it gets very hard for them to reach their all-time high of their BTC value. So even if you were buying NEO back here in relation to Bitcoin, you were technically losing money, right? In relation to Bitcoin. So what I try to do with altcoins, smaller altcoins and the like, I try to look for altcoins that are good, solid fundamentals that haven't been pumped yet. They haven't been added to many large exchanges, and I'll buy them, accumulate when they're low, and I'll try to sell them into strength, right? And then try to collect as much BTC as possible. Granted, Bitcoin is getting slaughtered right now, And that's why I often convert my Bitcoin back to USD. I was converting some Bitcoin back to USD over here. But I just think, and I know this is getting to be a long video, and I just want to explain a couple more things, is that, guys, the way I look at the Bitcoin price is that you have to understand that I personally believe that Wall Street has successfully gamed the con man over at Wall Street. I mean, the gentleman over at Wall Street has successfully gamed another asset class. And what do I mean by this? If you want to know where the price of Bitcoin is going, in my opinion, look at the futures contracts, look at the futures markets. In my personal opinion, once Wall Street announced that, hey, we're going to trade futures on this, we had this ridiculous run up. The pumpsters over at CNBC, the pumpsters over at Wall Street were pumping this to the moon so then they could trade futures on it and, short it and bet against Bitcoin with their futures. Because it only takes a couple whales, and Wall Street has tons of purchasing power to really short Bitcoin and start a massive sell off to match their futures bets. So, if you guys want to know where Bitcoin is going long term, this is just my personal bias. I could be completely wrong. Look at what the futures are trading. If futures are continuously getting bid down, Bitcoin is probably going to go lower. Once the future starts to turn around and they're betting Bitcoin higher, I truly believe that Bitcoin will go higher. I mean, I'm not trying to spread FUD. It's just I really don't think that people have a full grasp of how much power Wall Street has. This was a classic to me. It was a classic Wall Street getting in on everybody's hype. They're pumping it on CNBC. Oh, Bitcoin's going to the moon. It's going to $100,000. Once futures starts trading, they drop the bag on everybody. I'm not saying that I'm a Bitcoin bull, because I'm very bullish on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency technology, but I understand that this space is very new, guys, and that I like to play things safe. I like to take profits regularly. So during days like today and months like today, when the market is getting slaughtered, I can look back and be like, okay, well, I took some profits, so I'm not hurting too bad. Obviously, I'm hurting a little bit, but I'm not hurting all that much. One other thing about QuantStamp I want to show you guys. Look at this. I just want to explain one thing. If we zoom in on the QuantStamp chart, this is why I take profits regularly, and I don't like to be greedy. I'm very content with my gains. Even say if you were accumulating around here and you sold in here, I was selling off a little bit in here, and I did sell off a big chunk in here, but I am holding house money in QuantStamp. But guys, look, you are up at all-time highs. You are up 300%. Why are you buying something that is up 300%? When you're buying something at all-time highs, you are your risk is exponentiated, or I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but it's exponential, the amount of risk. What people don't understand is when things are going up and up and up, they think, oh, it's going up, so if I buy it in, it'll be less risky. No, think about that, guys. If you buy something at the highs, or even right here, your risk is greater because look at all the room it has to fall down. Say if I was accumulating QuantStamp here, okay, if it falls down here, yeah, I lose 20%, whatever, I can keep accumulating, adding to my position. There's only so much lower it can go. But look at this, guys. It's just like a house of dominoes. And I'm not saying that QuantStamp's a bad project, because I am super, super bullish on QuantStamp. I really like the project. I really like the team, what Richard Ma is doing. But in times of when there's a full-fledged market sell-off, like for you to take on this risk, it's just not necessary. That's why a lot of people in the community, we were bullish on QuantStamp down here accumulating, and then you sell into strength, and then you sit back, watch the market, see how things turn out, and then you can enter later. But things like TRX, guys, like this is just stupid to me. Like if anybody thinks this is a healthy pullback, no, this is a complete dumpage. Like when things go up this exponentially and that exuberant and it's going parabolic, it's impossible to build any sort of support base. Like if you're gonna dip, people were dip buying this like here. I'm like, but where's the support? It's just there's nothing propping this up. And if you would, funny enough, it's kind of tried to find support around this level, but I really do think it'll try to find support around this level and just kind of fizzle out. Could it go back up, and could you guys make a ton of money? Yeah, and could I miss out on a ton of money? Of course. And I did miss out on huge gains on both TRX and both Ripple. but the risk and reward just wasn't there for me. It's just way too much hype. The CEO is a pumpster, and I just can't really get behind the project. And I just like to take things uber conservative, guys. So I will conclude with this. I know this video is going on for a while, but I really wanted to make this known that what's going on in the stock market now is it's getting me nervous, and I haven't been this nervous about stocks in a while. So I'm going to start taking my positions, going to start hedging against the debt, hedging against the dollar, because there's only so much debt that the Federal Reserve and these big banks can buy, and then they're going to go under when because they're guaranteeing this debt. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous what's going on. So what can you hedge with? Obviously, maybe commodities would be a good play. Maybe gold and silver. I know I'm not really a fan of gold and silver, but I just want to start diversifying my assets, saving up enough money. That's why I went to Miami to go to a real estate investing conference. I'll probably actually maybe going to the blockchain conference in Miami. But again, what I think will do the best in cryptocurrencies are building cryptocurrency platforms, right? The way I think of this is like I want to buy the ecosystem around cryptocurrencies. I want to buy a platform to where things can be built upon it, right? I just don't want to buy one application. Like, say, I don't want to invest in just, you know, I don't know. This is a stupid example, but I just don't want to invest in, like, say, this calculator down here, right? I want to invest in the entire Apple iOS or the operating system platform, because if one little ERC20 token fails, there's so many other projects being built on Ethereum. There's so many other projects being built with Neo, and that's why I'm really bullish with Lisk, because and all building cryptocurrencies for that matter. So like EOS. Ethereum, obviously, they have to fix some of their scalability stuff. I think they could do it. Neo, Lisk, EOS, ADA, maybe. I'm staying away for now because I think it's a little bit too early. But guys, just look at valuations. Some of these cryptocurrencies have billion-dollar valuations and no product out. I made a video way back saying that cryptocurrencies in general will be the biggest bubble the world has ever seen. I truly believe that, but that's not to say cryptocurrencies are going to die. I mean, I don't understand why people say, oh, cryptocurrencies are going to go to zero. It's all bullshit, because it's not. The technology is there, but I just think it gets a little bit ahead of itself. So I want to stick to the cryptocurrency platforms that are actually being used and have a use case. I want to invest in the protocol. I don't want to invest in, like, say, Microsoft Word. I want to invest in the whole Apple operating system or like the Microsoft operating system, to where things can keep being built on it. Money keeps coming in, to mitigate risk. My investing strategy and my trading strategy has always been to mitigate risk as much as possible. I want to take profits regularly because this is an uncharted space that I don't, know too much about. So if I can make 200% on a trade with QuantStamp, I'm going to take some profits. It's only like nothing can keep going parabolic forever. So take some profits. Now that the market is down, start to reevaluate situations. Maybe there could be some good entry points here. But I will say that I'm bullish on Lisk and platforms, cryptocurrency platforms, because I want to see tons of projects being built with Ethereum, being built with Lisk, being built with Neo. And that's why we've seen that exuberant run up with Neo, because so many, new ICOs are being built with Neo. So I think those are going to be the safest cryptocurrency plays. Obviously, if you guys are trading, have fun with it. Investing is not supposed to be stressful. So many people are stressed out right now, and it's sad, and I hate to see it. That's why you take profits regularly. You can't be greedy. I remember, Thomas Speechley. He's a partner at the Abraj Group. Very wealthy man. I mean, if you look up the Abraj Group, great private equity firm. I would talk to him back when I would work at Enterprise. He would come in all the time, and he would be like, "Bulls get fed. Bears get fed, but pigs get slaughtered." And the pigs over at the TRX pumpsters got absolutely slaughtered, guys. So take profits consistently. Who cares if you miss out on so many gains? Like, look, say if you bought TRX here and then you sold it here, 123%, guys. You're not satisfied with 123%? Like, don't be greedy. Like, take profits. Feel good about the profits, reward yourself, and start to hedge against the US dollar. That's all I have to say, guys. I know this was a very long video, but I've been away from the markets for a while. I've been down in Miami. But just really consider what I said. Drop me a comment below. What do you guys think? But overall, I'm bullish on cryptocurrency platforms. I think those will do the best. Also, the ones cryptocurrency projects that solve scalability issues, um, lower transaction times and fees. I think those ones will do good. But just in times of this, keep a level head. Look at the market. Try to be a sniper. Try to enter some good positions, but never try to catch a falling knife and just kind of see how this plays out. But obviously, for those of you who bought in TRX, XRP, maybe you learned a lesson now. I mean, take it as a positive. Maybe you learned a lesson to not buy into pumps, take profits regularly, and reward yourself every once in a while. So if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.